looking fairly quiet weather-wise. At times there'll be a lot of cloud, there'll be some patchy light rain and drizzle, and temperatures, well, there's no sign of the summer heat. I'll have all the details coming up in half an hour. Both, and good morning to you too. Last week we were telling you by the middle of this week high pressure would be building in, things would settle down and it would warm up. Well, that high pressure isn't materialising this week, so the forecast is a bit different. It's going to be cooler for starters because we're going to have a northwesterly. It will be often quite cloudy, and that cloud thick enough for some light rain and some drizzle, but a lot of the time it will be dry. Now, what's been happening overnight is you can see this big curl of cloud across the UK. That's a weather front, and that weather front is attached to an area of low pressure. Again, if you have a look at the isobars, they're quite close together. It's going to be a breezy day, and the source of that is the northwest. It's dragging in a lot of moisture from the Atlantic and therefore a lot of cloud. So here's our weather front sinking slowly south and weakening. We've got some early brightness in the Midlands getting into the southeast. In fact, central and eastern areas today seeing the lion's share of any sunshine, whereas out towards the west, for parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales and the southwest, the cloud will be thick enough for some light rain or indeed some drizzle at times. These are our average wind speeds, so not particularly strong, but you will notice the breeze. And these are our temperatures, 14 to about 20 degrees. Yesterday, we got to just over 26 degrees in Cavendish and Suffolk. We're not going to see that today, and we're not going to see that this week. So overnight, some clear skies to start with, but another weather front coming in from the west will introduce some decent amounts of rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland, sinking steadily southwards. Behind it, there'll also be some patchy light rain and also some drizzle from that thicker cloud. And there'll also be some widespread mist and fog as well. As a result, it's not going to be a cold night. So here's our clutch of fronts tomorrow, slipping southwards as fairly weak features. You can see also the isobars a little bit wider if you like. So we still are looking at breezy conditions, and we still are looking at a lot of cloud, that northwesterly dragging in all that moisture from the Atlantic. So tomorrow we have got some cloud, some patchy light rain and drizzle coming out of that. To the south and east of hills, for example, we could see a little bit of brightness coming through, and these are our temperatures up to about 19 or 20 degrees, and still some murkiness, some mist, some fog, especially around the coasts and the hills. Now, as we head on into Wednesday, it remains fairly cloudy. To the east of the Pennines, through parts of Dorset, East Devon, for example, we could pick up a little bit of brightness, but still we are looking at a fair bit of cloud, and those temperatures 14 to 21 degrees. At this time of year, we'll be looking widely in the north at 20 to about 24 as we sink further south. Beyond that, it becomes less breezy, but the forecast still remains unsettled. I'll have more later. Across many parts of the UK today. Good morning, everyone. And as we go through this week, that actually is the forecast. There'll be a lot of cloud around. We're pulling in a northwesterly, so it's picking up the moisture from the Atlantic and it's arriving in our shores in the form of cloud. It'll be fairly cool as well. Temperatures round about average or below, but a lot of the time it will be dry. There is some patchy light rain and drizzle in the forecast, having said that. And you can see this morning we've got this almost a hook of light rain that's slowly slipping southwards, and it's going to weaken. That's a weather front. If you look at the isobars, the source coming in from the Atlantic, northwesterly direction, it's going to be a breezy day, and then later on another weather front coming in across the west. So this morning there's some early brightness, as we saw in London, around the Midlands, across parts of Scotland. Our weather front sinks south. Here it is here as a fairly weak feature, and behind it across central and eastern areas we will hang on to the sunshine, but in the west it's a different story. Here across western Scotland, Northern Ireland, in through Wales and the southwest of England, the cloud will be thick enough for some patchy light rain or drizzle. Central and eastern areas seeing something drier and brighter, but hanging on to a bit more cloud at times through the day across the far southeast. Now, temperatures today ranging from 13 to about 18 degrees. Yesterday it was just over 26 degrees in Cavendish. In Suffolk, we're not going to see that today or indeed this week. Now, as we head on through the evening and overnight, you can see we start off with some clear skies in the east. Our weather front coming into the west will bring some decent amounts of rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland, sinking southwards and weakening. Behind that, well, we're looking at some patchy light rain and some drizzle and a lot of cloud. In fact, there'll be a widespread mist and fog tonight, particularly so over the hills and around the coasts. So tomorrow, there's the remnants of our weather front pushing down towards the southeast. Tomorrow will be a fairly cloudy day, and again, that cloud thick enough for some drizzle here and there. One or two brighter breaks to the south and east of any hills and mountains, and we're looking at temperatures of 14 to 19 degrees. So again, below average for the time of year. It should be roughly 20 to 24 north to south. For Wednesday, we start off with a little bit of brightness, but there'll be a lot of cloud around once again. The best breaks, for example, to the east of the Pennines. We can see some around Dorset as well, and also the east of Devon. But the cloud thick enough for some drizzle, just occasional drizzle, and these are our temperatures, 13 to about 20 degrees. Even as we head towards the end of the week, the forecast is still fairly cloudy with one or two exceptions. And on Thursday, it looks like we're going to have some rain coming in across southwest England and Wales, pushing eastwards as we go through the day and weakening. So by the time it arrives in the southeast, it will be fairly light. But again, fair bit of cloud around, that cloud thick enough for some drizzle, temperatures 13 to about 20 degrees. And then the outlook beyond that, well, into Friday, Saturday and Sunday, looks like it is going to remain unsettled. There will be some rain at times. Temperatures, well, we're looking at below par once again, 18s, 19s and 20s, but it won't be wet all the time. Stay with us. The headlines are coming up next. Morning to you too. Lou is absolutely right. We do have some sunshine in places, but we also have quite a bit of cloud around. This is one of our Weather Watchers pictures taken in Norfolk. Some of us will see some sunshine today. Others will just have a cloudy day, but it's not particularly cold, more or less across the board. We're in double figures, except from Braemar, around Balmoral, where temperatures are hovering between 8 and 9 degrees. Now, as we go through this new week, you'll find it is going to be fairly cool. We'll see temperatures about average or just below. It's also going to be rather cloudy. We're pulling in a northwesterly wind, dragging in all that moisture from the Atlantic in the form of cloud, and that's producing some light rain and some drizzle. We've got a weak weather front actually sinking south right now, and behind it, well, some brighter skies. And the brightest skies today are going to be in central and eastern areas. In the south, there'll be quite a bit of cloud at times, as there will be across Wales, Northern Ireland and Western Scotland. Move east of that, we're back into some sunny skies, and that cloud will be thick enough for the odd spot of drizzle or some light and patchy rain. Now, temperatures today getting up to about 20 degrees at best. Yesterday, we got 26.4 in Cavendish in Suffolk. We're not going to see a temperature like that through the rest of this working week. Through this evening and overnight, some clear skies to start with. Then a new weather front comes in, bringing rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland and continuing to progress southwards and eastwards, so the cloud building ahead of it. Behind it, it will be quite cloudy as well, again with some patchy light rain and drizzle, and there'll be quite a bit of mist and fog around tonight, especially so on the coasts and hills. So as a result, it's not going to be a cold night. Across the board, more or less, we're staying in double figures. Tomorrow then, we pick up this cloud and rain pushing steadily southwards and eastwards. A lot of cloud around tomorrow. Again, thick enough for some patchy light rain or drizzle here and there. We'll also hang on to some mist and some fog, especially on the coasts and hills where it'll be quite murky. But we could see some breaks in that cloud to the south and east of the hills and mountains. And we're looking at temperatures 14 to 20 degrees. Even into Wednesday, although some of us will start off on a bright note, we'll see the cloud really throughout the course of the day, but the best chance of seeing breaks will be to the east of the Pennines, through parts of Dorset and also East Devon. And once again, that cloud likely to be thick enough for some drizzle here and there. Temperatures 14 to about 20 degrees. Now, as we head towards the end of the week, Thursday, we've got rain coming in across parts of Wales and the southwest of England. That's going to be moving eastwards across southern counties, but weakening. To the north of that, fair bit of cloud. Once again, some patchy light rain and drizzle. I'll have more later. Lou, yes. Good morning, everyone. Mixed is a very good description. We were telling you last week we thought that temperatures would rise from the middle of this week. However, that was when we thought high pressure was going to build in, and now it looks like it's not. So this week's going to be fairly cool with temperatures around or just below average. Rather cloudy at times, often dry. I say often dry because there's also some drizzle and some patchy light rain in the forecast. We've got that today. Overnight, this curl of cloud here is a weather front that's been producing some rain. It's going to sink moving southwards as a weak feature today, but still some spots of rain on it. And if you look at the direction of those isobars, they're coming in from the northwest, i.e. from the Atlantic. So they're dragging in all that moisture in the form of cloud, and that cloud is thick enough for the patchy light rain and drizzle. So the brightest skies today will be across central and eastern areas. Here we should see some sunshine, but one thing you will notice is the breeze. It's not going to be particularly strong, but compared to recent days, well, you will notice it. These are the kind of wind speeds that you can expect. Temperatures today, well, again below par, 14 in the north to maybe 20 in Hull. Roughly, there should be 20 in the north to 24 in the south. Now this evening we start off with some clear skies, but we have a new weather front coming our way, introducing rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland, that getting into Northern England and North Wales, and the cloud building ahead of it. Behind it, fairly cloudy with a return to some patchy light rain and some drizzle, and there'll be widespread mist and fog tonight, more especially around the hills and coasts, and our temperatures 9 to about 13 degrees. Into tomorrow then, here's our weather front continuing its descent southwards and eastwards. Still the isobars are with us coming from the northwest, but perhaps just a little bit looser. So it will still be a breezy day tomorrow. There goes our rain pushing off onto the near continent, leaving us with a lot of cloud. Now there'll be some still coastal mist and murk, as well as some hill fog, and we'll also have some of that cloud thick enough for some patchy light rain or drizzle, but there'll be some brighter breaks in the shelter of the hills and mountains. Temperatures 14 to about 20 degrees. Into Wednesday, some of us will start off on a bright note, but essentially it's going to be a fairly cloudy day once again. The best breaks to the east of the Pennines, Dorset, East Devon, for example. The breeze, though, perhaps a bit lighter on Wednesday, and our temperature range 14 in the north to perhaps 21 in London, that's 70 in Fahrenheit. And then as we head on into Thursday, we've got a little front coming in across southwest England and South Wales. That's going to scoot across southern areas, weakening all the time. So by the time it gets into the southeast, there won't be much rain left on it. For the rest of us during the course of Thursday, it will be fairly cloudy. And again, that cloud thick enough for some patchy light rain or drizzle. And then as we head into Friday, a new weather front coming in from the Atlantic will introduce some rain. That's it from me. The headlines are coming up next. Thanks, Lou. Good morning, everybody. For many of us this morning, it's a cloudy start. For some, we've actually got some sunshine, but you can see from this Weather Watchers picture taken in Helmsley, North Yorkshire this morning, there is a fair bit of cloud around. And it's not just cloud, we've also got some patchy rain. Now this week, the forecast is going to be fairly cool. Temperatures around about average or just below. The high pressure we were expecting to build in this week, bringing some warmer weather, isn't actually going to happen. It looks like that will be next week now. But mostly cloudy, producing some light rain or drizzle, but most of us will miss that and stay dry. Now we've had some rain this morning coming in courtesy of a weather front. There's a hook of it here, moving southwards, and we've got another band of rain currently coming in across western Scotland, just fringing across Northern Ireland and getting into northwest England. The other thing you'll notice on this chart are the isobars. It's going to be a breezy day, and that breeze coming in from the northwest, dragging in lots of moisture from the Atlantic, hence all this cloud in the west and also parts of the south. The brightest skies today are likely to be across central and eastern areas, where we will hang on to some sunshine. But for western Scotland, you've got quite a cloudy day ahead. Again, that cloud thick enough for the odd spot of light rain or drizzle. It's the same across Northern Ireland, Wales, southern and southwestern England. Move towards the Midlands and head eastwards. We're looking at some brighter skies with some sunny spells, and temperatures today, nothing to write home about. We've got a range 13 in Lerwick to about 19 as we push down towards Hull. Yesterday we reached 26.4 degrees in parts of Suffolk. We're not going to see that kind of level of temperature this week. Now as we head on through the evening and overnight, we start off with some clear skies. Cloud out towards the west will build ahead of a new weather front coming in, introducing some rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland, that getting into Northern England and Wales through the course of the night, with cloud building ahead of it and also behind it, thick enough behind it for some patchy light rain and drizzle. And there'll also be some widespread mist and fog tonight, particularly so in the coasts and also the hills. So with all this going on, it's hardly surprising it's not going to be a cold night. Tomorrow then we start off with the dregs of the rain moving away from the southeast. Tomorrow there will be a lot of cloud around with some brighter breaks in the shelter of the hills and the mountains, but the clouds still thick enough for some drizzle. We still will hang on to that coastal mist and murk and some hill fog, and these are our temperatures, 14 to 20 degrees. Into Wednesday, well, some of us will start off with a bit of brightness, even a bit of sunshine, but essentially it's going to be a fairly cloudy day. And through the day as the cloud builds, the best chance you have of seeing some breaks will be to the east of the Pennines, in through parts of Dorset and also East Devon. The wind will be lighter as well, and our temperature range 13 in Lerwick to 20 in London. I'll have more weather later on in the programme.